Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode number 2 of the Tell You What podcast with me, Sean Aleavey, and my wonderful co-host, Mr. Talal Jomar. Who would have thought it? Episode 2, Talal.
Oh, just let me that clock keeps ticking like a metronome.
Can't believe we've made it. I can't believe we've made it.
Do you
But
know what we need
I
to do?
think
We need to do that thing. Do you ever see like the clips? It's like, oh, the top 1% of podcasts make it to episode 21. 21, that's all we need to do, and we're in the top 1%.
I think we'll make it. I think we both enjoyed the first episode. Very much a pilot.
hmm
See how we both felt about it. We're both very critical uh, of everything we do. You know what I mean? And I think we're both sort of are happy with how the start we've made. So episode 2, here we go.
Yeah, it was actually very funny. We were saying we're very critical. The two of us the day after, were like, here, this is class. The two of us were blowing smoke up each other's shoulder. Like, me and you, we have the best dynamic ever. Fucking class.
I know, and I actually messaged you the other day. I think it might have been yesterday, was it? And I listened to it again with
Mhm.
Maria like over, and I was like, on the whole, it was like pretty good. Like,
Yeah,
it's like really
yeah.
enjoyed it, you know.
It was like Joe. It was one of those ones. Joe, like first game of the season, you're not expecting one. You get a 2-0 win. You're like, fuck, we're going to win the league. We're fine.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, we got a nice wee 2-0 win at the start.
Yeah, we actually got a bit of feedback on one of our clips we posted. So we posted a few clips onto like Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. And one of them was actually talking about I can't remember, they were referencing you, but they reference you by your nickname, Shaggy. I think this is a good
Yes.
point because we're at the start of the podcast to maybe introduce both our nicknames. So where exactly has Shaggy come from? Because I actually don't even know where that nickname came from
So
myself.
I've actually tried to stay away from it in the comedy world. Because all my friends call me Shaggy. And my brother was called Shaggy because he walked outside the house one day. This is years ago, like years ago, with sort of like brown, sort of like cord jeans and a green t-shirt, and his hair was slightly long. So he went, "You look like Shaggy from Scooby Doo." So he got Shaggy, and then eventually, then I got Shaggy. So that's there's no. Some people think it's because of some sort of, I don't know,
Racism.
love making machine back in the day. It's
Yeah.
absolutely nothing.
And you know what? I love that's not where my head went at all. I was like, cut, nah. That was the last thing I thought it could have been. Like, right?
I
Nah.
know. Nah, hello, not a chance. But yeah, so that's I with that for me was 14, 15 maybe.
So
So
Shaggy senior or you're Shaggy junior then? Is it like he's your older brother?
yeah, sure. He's Shaggy Senior, I'm Shaggy Junior. But if you put us side by side, you'd definitely say I'm the
Oh, really? Yeah.
older brother. Aye,
You've
he's
embraced the nickname a bit more.
he's looked after himself just a wee bit better than I have, you know.
Oh, right. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, and he's much older than me, but he looks a lot more fresher than me, let's say.
Isn't it weird though how you get into like the comedy world and like no one knows stuff like that about you? Like everyone calls you Talal and it probably takes you like a minute to go,
Yeah.
oh yeah, Talal, yeah, that is my name.
Because I remember when I first started doing comedy, like PB's comedy club, like Sean Haggerty would have introduced me as Shaggy. And I remember going,
Mhm.
Sean, I sort of want to stay away from that. I don't want. It was because Shaggy was it was almost like I was a novelty act. If that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I didn't want to be on like a poster for somewhere like Belfast going Talal Shaggy Jomar doing material and people expecting me to do Shaggy songs.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Wasn't me.
Exactly. So that's why I went straight for just keep the Shaggy out of it.
Because my nickname for anyone at home has always knew me growing up was Smack, which is just a horrific nickname to have. Do people shout that
I,
down the street at you and stuff like that?
I,
And there's like nothing sophisticated about it. It's just one boy at football was like Sean, Mac, Smack.
Smack.
That's it.
Um, I'm not gonna lie. If somebody goes to me, here, I have a friend called Smack, I'd automatically think junkie.
Oh
Like
yeah,
he's
100%. 100%. And it's like
yeah.
ironic because I'm like the cleanest of all my mates. Like never done any gear,
Uh,
never gone near anything. But yeah, just and maybe that's why it was like ironic. They're all just
uh,
like she's so sort of squeaky clean. We'll call him Smack, but my mom hates it. Like my mom, like if you
uh,
say Smack around my mom, she'd be like, "Don't say that." But it's done the same effect that like happened to you and your brother. Like everyone in my family will get like, oh, you're Smack's wee brother, you're Smack's sister, you're Smack's dad, and they're just like,
uh,
stop. But being in the comedy world now, it's changed because everyone's like, oh, Sean McAlevey.
yes, it's the Sean
Oh yeah,
McAlevey.
yeah. Did you know?
Yeah, it's Mr. Sean McAlevey to you actually.
Yeah.
But it is very much because like my mum, like God love her, like she was known as Shaggy's ma. It's
That's
just,
wild.
you know what I mean?
That's
Or even,
yeah.
but the worst thing was like whenever I first started going out with Claire, she called me Shaggy, and I
No
hated
way.
it. Yeah, and I was
Oh,
like,
oh yuck.
I was like, don't introduce me to your friends as Shaggy because they'll automatically judge me
Yeah, yeah,
straight
yeah.
away. They'll go, this guy, Shaggy, who's this
Yeah.
guy?
It
You know
actually
what I
might
mean?
be the worst
So.
combination of nicknames ever. Shaggy and Smack. That is like a that is an absolute whitey combo there. So it is like that's
I know,
brutal.
I know, but because like it was that sort of like this is meet Shaggy, and just like people judge just straight away,
Yeah.
especially when you just go, he doesn't look like a Shaggy. But
And then
also,
when the story comes out, it's just like it's actually my brother's name. It like loses all sort of like
but even that, like, see, if I'd have been like, whenever I started, so I had just joined cycling shooters, my brother was leaving it,
mhm.
so like. People, I used to be going like, oh, you trying to cool. You were like, oh, my brother was part of the cool gang, so he was.
Yeah.
He was like, he was good at football, good women, all that. So like, so I'd have been like trying to like try and live off his sort of like
Legacy.
clout legacy, and I was like, and I was telling people I'm Shaggy's brother, and they were like, Shaggy the singer. Like, nah, it's just my brother. Like, he's got history here. It's 10 o'clock. But it is, but
Joe's funny about that though, because like your name's Talal. Like there's no reason for you to have a nickname. Like there's
this
no fucking confusion there. Sean's you can get fucking 3 million
yeah.
of them here.
See, whenever I was working in power screen for about 4 years, maybe five,
Hmm.
and somebody went to a fella going, here, go and see Talal in the office. And they were like, who the fuck's Talal?
Yeah.
They're like, Talal. He's like, you know Talal? He's like, nah, who's that? And they're like, Shaggy. And they're like, you wind me up. So he came into the office. Guy I had known five years was like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, they told me your real name's Talal. And I went, it is. He's like, what? What do you mean it's Talal? I was like, Talal, he was not Irish. He was not. It's from the Middle East. And he was like,
Is
oh
it
yeah, that's
Irish?
I was like, no. I was like, no, it's Middle
Oh,
East. And he was like,
you should have said him. You should like it's Irish for Irish for Shaggy. Fuck's sake.
yeah, but it was just like, but like my brother loves the nickname Shaggy. Like
Mhm.
he like where he works the same company as me. Like, and he is like he is a legend in it. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
and all his like boiler suits are all personalized with Shaggy,
Really?
and his email is Shaggy at Powerscreen. Is
No
that mental?
way.
Like
That
everybody
is
knows him,
that is
Shaggy. Like
class.
yeah, he is just Shaggy. Which is I'm kind of going. I want to step out of that shadow. I want to make my own pathway,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But he is the and that's I'm not one of the reasons I hate it most because it's his
Yeah, it's
nickname.
his
And
nickname.
so and I hear I've said it in different podcasts, but like I've had loads of nicknames, like, but anyway.
You don't want to share this again for the group. Uh,
No.
the only time I've ever had like do like my actual name been like an issue. Like Sean is like whenever I did my traveling there in like Philippines and all, like they had never heard of like Sean, which I couldn't get my head around. Like you'd go like Sean and they'd be like, huh? And like just spell it like Sean. But there was one guy that got it and he was like, oh, like Sean Kingston. I was like, fucking yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
You're as far away from Sean Kingston as I am from fucking Marlon Brando. It's
Yeah.
mental.
But it's
You
so
sure
awkward when
mate?
people do that to you because I was like, I can't really do the voice or like sing like him. That's going to be a bit racist.
Uh,
So I can't pull that
yeah,
off.
yeah, 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 yeah. But the only thing with like my name is, and people do struggle with my name, and I
Mhm.
think it's so easy. And I'm like Talal. They're like, what Tal? And I'm like, no, Talal. I was like, do you know what halal is? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, well, just change the H for a T. Oh, Tal. And I'm like, no, no, no. I was like, don't worry about it. It's fine. We'll cross our bridge again. But it is. I was almost like a wee segue into like my first rant there, but I'll hold back to the section starts.
Well, we may as well get struck into it. Section one, as you all know, here people love that first section last week. Jesus Christ, people are like, it's just so good to hear. It's like it's good to hear someone speak a truth. Speak a truth. It's like because the big epidemic we've had on like the Sunday shoppers, people working at
Yeah.
delis. But Section one, Talal's weekly rants. You all loved it this week. He's back again. I was actually mind blown last week. I was like, "What's your rant this week?" And you came out with like three topics. I was like, "This podcast isn't going to last a week. If you're finding 3 week,
I know.
what's on your mind this week and what's annoying you, Talal?"
So I actually wasn't going to talk about this, but just from a wee conversation I had previously there, when people get my name wrong, it fucking drives me
Yeah.
insane. Like it's 5 letters, it's 2 syllables. It's not like, and I understand maybe once
Mhm.
going, oh, what, can you say it again? But it's like when people really get it wrong, like people have called me, oh, Taj Mahal, and I'm like, no, that's a famous building
Yeah.
that some man built in memory of his wife. I wasn't that wasn't me. I'm not his wife. I wasn't, that's, and then like a thing that I have, and I'm so petty with it, like especially in work. If somebody writes me an email going, "Hi, Jomar,"
In fairness, though, it's a double. That Jomar is a first name as well. Like
no, it's not.
it is. I know Jamar. Well, Jamar or Jomar. I can I know a Jamar. Is that the same as
No,
Jamar?
no, you're threading a very thin line of going down. You all look the same.
I'm
Very
kind of
different.
dyslexic, actually. So
Okay, fair enough. What a get out clause. But but it wouldn't matter if I had a normal name like Joe Daly. It wouldn't matter if somebody gets if you can't read an email that my name is Talal Jomar and they're putting Hi Jomar, I'll reply to them with their surname first as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, pure
Drives
patty.
me insane. Or like if they spell my name wrong, like one man called me Omar. Like just completely took. I just went, what's the name? Talal? Oh, Omar. And I'm like, so I leave it like a letter off there. So say their name's Connor, I'm like, hi, Honor. That's just
Yeah.
my name's not hard. Just get my fucking name right. Do you know
I
what I
don't
mean?
I don't like when people say my name wrong, but I mean Sean's kind of an easy one to get. But what's mental about that is people will be like Talal, Jamal, like get yours wrong, and then be like Owen, Fakra, Shoneen. Do you know, like all these mental Irish names? You're like, if you can say
Yeah,
those, there's
I
no
know.
reason why you can't
I
get this
know.
right.
I know. Like, 'cause, I know a few people called Irla, right?
Yeah.
And like can almost be offended when you go, and how do you spell that? Like Irla, like how would you? And it's 16 letters for a small name, and my name's like Talal. Like how do you spell that? T-A. It's like five
Yeah.
letters. T.
It's so
It,
simple, like it's stupidly obvious.
yeah, it's so stupidly obvious. Like that really fucking angry. Like, get my name wrong really annoys me. It's up there with one of my biggest pet peeves
I actually
in,
know so
in
you
the
know
world.
like we all know and love Andrew Ryan, comedian
Yes.
up from Cork. He lives up in Belfast now, but he would say to Jasmine Sierra, he just called her Jazzy. He just go Jazzy, and then she's like, "My name's Jasmine," and he's like, "Ah, no." And she goes, "Say it." And he's like, "All right, Jazzy." And she's like, "Head on again." It's like, God.
It is very frustrating when people get your name wrong. It is very, and then or people call me Tala. Like respect me enough to give me my last letter. Respect me. You know what I mean?
Did
Respect me
you
enough to give me my last.
see whenever you're picking kids' names? Because obviously you have kids and I don't. Do you like factor stuff like that in, going like, don't give them a wild awkward name? Because my sister's called Rachel, but they've spelled it Racheal, which is wrong. It's
Yes.
EL is the
Yes.
standard, but I think I don't know how they got that wrong. But like, do you
So
factor that in then and go like, give them a nice wee easy name?
yeah, so Maddie and Charlie. And Charlie is spelled with an IE, not a Y. IE,
Like the
there's no
chocolate factory,
fadas.
Charlie. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, there's no fadas. There's nothing fancy about their names, just and like they actually I didn't want them to have my surname.
Mhm.
I was like, you're gonna be
I
Haggins, and that's
I
it.
I love the thought of like a fucking Owen Jomar. That's class. I would absolutely love that. Like,
You
could
know
you
what I mean?
imagine like because Jomar I think looks better if if they're ever going to be like Premier League footballers. Jomar would look class in the back of a jersey
Yeah,
and it'd be cheap
yeah,
as fuck to get printed, which is
yeah.
class.
Well, Haggin is the same letters, like so it's not too
Oh, there you
bad.
go. Yeah, yeah.
But my wee lad sounds like an old boy that would just drinks like whiskey on a Wednesday night. Charlie Haggin. I'll Charlie Haggin up the
He'll
road
have a
there.
bar. He'll have to own a bar. Like that's the only thing he can grow up and do when
I
he's older.
know,
Like
I know. But his only thing is his middle name's Talal, so he's Charlie Talal.
Charlie
That's the
Talal
only.
Hagen. That is some fucking name. That is absolutely class.
I know, I
That's like a
know.
character I'd make in pro clubs. That's absolutely unreal.
It's lethal. So it is. So,
I
because
my family didn't even bother to give me a middle name or the Fada. So it's just Sean's SE Fada N or whatever the fuck it's
Yeah,
meant to
yeah,
be.
yeah.
No Fada. They went, no, come aboard of that. And then no middle name. And every single other, I have three siblings, all the rest of them got middle names. I'm like, just tell me you don't love me. Tell me you're a middle child. Like, tell me you're a middle child. Like, that's why I have to do a podcast and do stand up for some fucking attention around here.
Yeah. I was very close to being called George.
George Jomar.
My dad was which is really was so strange, right? He was a massive George Best fan, like huge. Like apparently George Best was massive in the Middle East. Apparently he was
Right?
like right, which everything George Best did is totally against what the Middle East believe, like totally
Yeah.
against
George
drinking,
Halal, fucking best.
drinking, riding, drugs, everything that like Arabs hate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he was like, I want to call him George. Like, but I think George Jomar, I'd have been on radio too.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. You're destined for radio too with a name
You know
like
what I mean? I'd
that.
have been like, driving home with George Jomar. You know what I mean? Here,
You would have got beat
you
up
know,
for a name like that. Where
oh,
from where you're from, like you couldn't be a George Jomar.
George,
That's nah, nah.
nah, Georgie. You know what I mean? I
George,
just
yeah.
nah.
What else has
I
been
don't have
annoying you
the.
this week, or is that your main one?
Nah, that's my main one. What else has been annoying me? I actually messaged you with the other day. The other day? What was fucking? Oh, yeah, tell you what's fucking annoying me, and it was actually on the back of one of your TikToks. See these young lads, right, that are giving up the drink, right? Now, I've had some rough hangovers. I'm not gonna lie, right? I've had some hangovers where I've contemplated, that's it, I'm done forever,
Mhm.
right? The crack they're missing out on, and just want to put a disclaimer right here: if alcohol is a fact in your day to day life, quit, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to go out on a Friday night and come back on a Sunday night, there's nothing wrong with that.
Mhm.
Some of the greatest people I know did that for years. Do you know what I mean?
Sure,
But it's
Jesus went into the desert for 30 days and 30 nights. You know what I mean? He got enough damning in there. You don't have a clue.
exactly. He was in ketamine, never, and he was he was
You're seeing snakes and all sorts out in the fucking out there. Like,
he was hitting the Lost Marys and all too. You know what I mean? 100%. Like I was like, how bad is your hangover that you went? You know what? I'm gonna have to create a social media account for me quitting the drink.
mhm.
It's like really, like you know what I mean? Like I remember someone in a bar not too far away from where I live. I remember being in this bar and somebody telling me, yeah, yeah, like I quit the drink there and feeling so much better. And I'm like, but you're holding a glass of wine.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, yeah, well, I have the other one. I was like, so you haven't quit the drink? You just
Ah,
went on social media telling everybody you've got drink, but you haven't.
that's like
But no,
people who
like,
smoke, only smoke on a night out. That drives me insane.
yes. And then give off about people smoking.
That drives me insane. But the TikTok I put up, I actually what was I saying in that? Oh yeah, people go off the drink and then like I want to see the opposite of that. I want to see like someone
Yes.
who goes on the drink and gets a life and be like, I'm sleeping with more women. I'm happily married now. Everyone thinks
Yeah.
I'm good crack again. I was a wee fruit when I didn't drink. Shouldn't say that in episode 2, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yes, yes, yes. But you're like, like I took, but there does come a stage in your life where you actually just stop going out every weekend. Like it happened to me without me really noticing, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. Like I used to be out at least twice a weekend, you know what I mean? And if I didn't go out one weekend, I'd have been sweating all week on what did I miss?
Yeah, yeah,
Night
yeah,
out
yeah,
somewhere. And then you eventually hit an age where you just go, come above this anymore. So
yeah.
like
I,
enjoy it while you can.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. But this is where I think is the catch now. This is what I think's actually going on. So I think it's mainly single people that go out drinking, right?
Yes.
But now what's happened is all the good-looking people aren't going on nights out. They've stopped drinking and they go running and go to coffee clubs. So that's why people are going, fuck, right, I'm going to give up the drink now and just go to the coffee club at Sunday at 6 at 10 a.m. because that's where all the good-looking people are. Like, see if my missus turn around to me and goes, I'm doing a coffee run club. I'm like, just cheat on me. Just do it in front of my face.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
between that and
Yeah.
fuck that High Rocks and what's the other one, CrossFit. If your partner
Uh,
goes and joins that, they just want to cheat on you. That's the only reason I
that,
have for joining that.
I'll tell you a story about CrossFit. About 3 years ago, yeah, 3 years ago, I joined a CrossFit gym, and I knew the guy who was running the gym, and he says, "Look, there's a beginners class." He goes, "Don't take us the wrong way, but it's people your sort of fitness size." He goes, "So he goes, some people go in and they see these people in incredible shape and they end up like
Yeah,
they don't.
intimidated. Yeah.
Says okay, no problem. So I joined this. So I signed up this beginners class, all excited, landed in, and your boy comes with me straight away and goes, "You are so unlucky." He says, the class only had like 12 people. He says, 11 of these guys are all signed up through this beginner course, but they're all playing GAA. They're all like,
Oh fuck.
so it's Division Two Armagh team,
Yeah.
right? Which, okay, Santa, but you still need to be fit.
Hmm.
So like he was tailoring the classes to them, and I mean, there was one class I crawled out of it, but this is the thing I'm actually going to give off it, right? And I know they were just trying to help me. I know that, right? But they had all finished. So I think I was doing like squats or something. And then you had to finish with like wall balls, right? And all of them were like, go on, you can do it. And we're all behind you. And I'm like, fuck up. I mean, summer here. I know you're trying to be nice, but fuck off, leave me alone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know. You know what I mean? But inside you're judging me, you're going, you're a fat piece of shit.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't do this. And I mean, they're all around me and like cheering. And like whenever I finished it, they're all like hugging me and giving me like high fives and all. And I'm like, I can't lift my arm to high five you. Like I'll do a low five. Like I fuck those fuck those fucking high rocks people at CrossFit. And I know what most of them sound, and I know people, but it's a cult, 100% a
Oh,
cult.
it is 100% a cult. It's so weird. Like,
And they're now starting to admit it. They're all like so supportive, and I know as because the upbringing I've had, but no, 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 no.
no,
You
no.
you don't do what you want to do. You do what you're supposed to do. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. You sounded like my dad whenever I told him I wanted to do stand up. He's like, no, 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 no. Or like, I remember when I told my dad I was giving up Gaelic. He was like, just tell me you're gay. Just if that's what it is. Just like, come
uh,
on.
so because
The boys need to go back on the drink. That's what we're saying. If you're
yeah,
young, because even in fairness, I don't go and drink that much anymore. Like in fairness, I'm just a miserable man. I won't pay £5 for a pint. That's kind of my issue.
but what are you, 26?
26, yeah.
Right. But when you were 17, 18, 19,
Oh, Bomb Square, yeah, Bomb Square.
right? Exactly. So was I.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that you go and drink all the drinks, and by the time you hit your mid 20s, sort of 30s, you go, you know what, I've done it all.
Do you know
Like,
what?
do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I've actually just thought there now? This is what happens. People like skip certain things or certain stages in their life, and then they come back to it. Do you know what I mean? So like, if you
Yeah.
skip drinking at you're like the age you're meant to go mental at 18, let's say at 25, by the time you get to like 40, you're gonna be a lunatic probably. Do you know what I mean? Like as
Yeah.
soon as you get that
Yeah.
first taste of like madness, you're gonna be that weirdo that everyone hates.
So like I said my husband all the time. I was like, you see the day that I can leave my two kids in the house by themselves,
Mhm.
and like I know they'll be safe and they can look after themselves. I says, I am going on a weekend bender. And he says, I mean, like, I'm going, I goes, I'm putting £1,000 in my Revolut and I'm just going and spending it all on alcohol. And I goes, I don't care. I goes, you judge me if you want. I goes, but that's it. I
That's
goes,
what that's what happened to my dad. That's what happened to my dad. The youngest in our family, my youngest brother. It was actually lockdown, and the day my youngest brother turned 18, my dad was by far the drunkest person there at the fucking party. He was just like, "Freedom, yes, we've done it." Fucking, you could just see him clocking out. He was like, "You're on your own. Get the fuck out of my house."
yeah, he's like, I've made it. They're adults now. They can fend for themselves, and that's it. You know what I mean? But
Although
sorry, one.
there has to be said though. Sorry to interrupt you. There has to be said though. There's something beautiful about like you have to look forward to when like your kid is old enough to pint with you.
I as much I know in like my comedy sets, like me and my wee lad had a rough start to life, right? But he's starting to come around. Like there's a wee bit of badness in him.
All right,
He's
okay.
not as in like devilment, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
bit of like he's gonna be a wee bit of crack. Like he's gonna be the one in class that's gonna be like really nice, like not rude or like but he's gonna be like the class clown.
Right, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
100%.
You're seeing good
And
signs in him.
I'm just like my wee girl, she's gonna be like a doctor or an accountant
Yeah.
or a lawyer. Like she's gonna be perfect, right? My wee
Mhm.
lad, like he's gonna be the one that you get a phone call from the school, that he's fucking,
Hey, do you
he's
know one
a
of them phone
top
calls where
out of car.
yeah, the school phones you and you're like, that's bad, but it is hilarious
Yeah,
what he's done.
yeah.
Like,
Like I don't think he's gonna bully people or like be like nasty, but he's gonna do like stupid fun stuff that like
yeah,
we
yeah,
had
yeah.
like probably we'd have done as kids, but now it's like frowned upon.
Yeah, he took
You know
someone's
what I
school
mean?
bag and threw it on the school roof. Something harmless.
Like or turn somebody's school bag
Yeah,
inside,
yeah.
something like that. You know what I mean? Or
Classic.
like, all the classic he's going to be. So, and I think when he's old, like I think when he's about 16, I'll take him for a wee pint, like
Yeah,
just to see what he's really like. But
because
so really looking forward to taking a pint with him.
we went whenever we were all old enough. We went with my dad down to it was actually Crow Park, funny enough, for the first time. And my dad took us down to the All Ireland final, me and my brother. And I was like, my dad is a fucking great drinker. Nice way to call him an alcoholic, but great drinker, right? And I was like, my brother's like, listen, do not keep pace with this man. He will buy us pints all day long, but don't go one for one from you. Will be dead. My dad must have had about 3 pints in him within the first hour. My brother's like, "This is class. This is unreal." Like, but you need to slow down here. Within 2 hours, my brother didn't even get into Crow Park. Absolutely gone off the face of the earth. Dad,
No
dad, not even,
way.
dad, not even wobbling. Dad just still standing there, sitting nothing happening. I'm like, you can't keep pace with that, like lunatic.
That's my rant done. I have a rant, but I'll save it for next week because
Yeah.
it's one that I feel as if I need to write it out a wee bit because there's certain people on like TikTok that do like over emotional, that
Mhm.
do like emotional scenarios. It's like fucking
You're
get
saying too
life.
much. Save it for next week. Save it for next
You
week.
see what I think? Right, this rolls nicely into our second section. Local news with Sean McAleavey.
Right.
Here we go.
Last week, I was a bit unprepared, I'm not gonna lie, but this week I've brought you an absolute banger, right? Waiting to hear this for a headline. Gardaí probe after children hijack Limerick bus at gunpoint and lead driver to planned ambush. I mean, only in Limerick would you get a headline like that. Absolutely incredible. Right? And then the subline after it goes, this comes just days after a female bus driver was left traumatized when she was shot in the face by a child wielding an air gun on the same bus route.
Hold on. Slowly tell me that, lady. That is fucking unreal. Going out.
The,
Tell
the
me
first line of the second line, do you want?
the first one. The first one.
First
Let's
line.
break it down.
Gar- Gardaí probe after children hijacked Limerick bus at gunpoint and led driver to planned ambush.
Fuck that is. I'm gonna say this. The kids. I'm sure it was horrible for the bus driver, but them kids should be commended for having great planning.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
planned
yeah.
ambush. Fucking.
It's great to see the kids outdoors again, you know what I mean? Off the iPads.
You know what I mean. You have to take a rough with a smooth. You know what I mean. You have
Yeah.
to get to see them back out again.
Well, I
Let me
mean,
see.
for the people of Limerick had a bad reputation of stabbings and stuff like that. So it's good to see they've regressed down to actual like air rifles. That's kind of a positive spin that I'm taking out of this story.
They weren't at a Trump speech the other week.
Yeah, yeah. That
Uh,
boy on the roof wasn't wearing a fucking Limerick Ireland jersey, was he?
let's look at the positive. So they're using public transport, saving the planet.
Oh
They're
no,
showing
wait.
good planet.
You've missed it. You've missed it. So the article goes on to say, days after a female bus driver was traumatized after she was shot in the face by a child wielding air gun on the same bus route. But it says uh, the kids got on the bus, and then in brackets just goes, the children did not pay the bus fare. I'm like, oh, they've gone too far. At least if they paid the
Uh,
bus fare and shot her in the face, you could have went, well, they've contributed to the local society.
it's it's like I'm gonna say something right. I've never been in that situation where I've driven a bus and got hijacked. But if somebody's bringing a bus or gone on that bus, there's a 99.9% chance they're not going to pay for that fare, and
Yeah.
there's a 100% chance I'm going to ask them to pay for that fucking fare as well.
Yeah, no way.
Do you think that's why she got shot? She's like,
Yeah,
look, I drive you, but you have to pay. Bang.
yeah.
You know what I mean? What a county.
So
What a county.
the children got on, right? And they had the gun that says they wanted to travel from one side of the estate to the other. They got on the bus that wouldn't pay the fare, and the driver didn't carry them to where they wanted to go, and they were going to, in brackets, shoot her in her fucking face.
This is class. I love this.
It gives me flashbacks because I used to whenever I went to the secondary school that I went to, I had to get the Cross McGlen bus back because I lived like just on the edge of South Armagh, but this bus went right into the heart of it, the number 42. And this bus was I mean, like I didn't even understand the language some of the boys were speaking on the bus, like they were real. And there's like the hierarchy of the bus. You had like the older boys at the back, and then every year it sort of got younger you went down to the front.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Every fella, because they lived in the middle of nowhere, had bus passes. I was the only one on the bus that would never had a bus pass. So the nickname I had on the bus was literally just bus pass because I was the only one without one. So I would get on, but I would like try and like because the bus driver was so used to everyone having bus passes, I would just like walk on with everyone, chance it. And then whenever I got off my stop, he'd be like, "You haven't gone far enough. Like, where's your bus pass?" And every fucking time I just have to be like, "Oh, I forgot my bus pass," and he would just make me pay. But it just goes to show you, if I just brought an air rifle with me, which to be honest, all them boys would have had on them, we would have been 110%.
Yeah. Like I think that's I don't think my wee lad would shoot someone in the face, but I think my wee lad will definitely like hijack a bus from like where I live, which practically there actually is no fucking buses where I live, so no, that's ruled out, but that's unbelievable.
The other thing
But
they used to do, go on
twice in
there.
one twice in 1 week in Limerick, that's roughly.
Yeah, once is a do you know what I mean? Like once is a like accident, twice, you gotta start, upping the security on them buses. Like,
What is it bus earn?
yeah, I think it was bus iron, yeah, yeah.
Bus earn rifle? Ah, that
Stretch.
is
That is a
that's a
stretch.
stretch. And people complain about the glider. Well,
Oh yeah, no.
that's lethal.
I
I
mean,
really
I've only been on a glider once, and them boys may as well be in a fucking bank vault. You cannot get at them bus drivers like on the glider. Like they are tucked away. Like you're not getting anywhere near them. Like they know they're going east to west. Like there's no messing about.
do you think of it like do you think if like something happens on there's press like a wee like thing and the front bit of the bus just goes off on its own? Like ejaculates like,
It's like
I
a wee
am out of here.
Pokemobile just drives it. So the
I
glass
am
case,
fucking I am absolutely out of here, But what
which
I'm
is
laughing at. It's
which
just
is
so
crazy
funny and
because you
absurd.
never guess what date that happened on the 12th of July, which is the fucking most scandalous thing to happen to a bus driver on the 12th of July. Who had their money on Limerick? Not me. Not me.
Just like a lads excited to get up to bonfire. You know what I mean?
That's yeah, yeah, yeah.
Get up to 12th, but
I
you
actually
know.
don't think we can ever top this section. That might be like the end of like, the local news. I don't know. Next week I'll be like, and a sheep walked into a pub. That's not going to top this. Like, that's
I
that's
know.
that's that's never gonna that's
You
never
know,
gonna trip.
I know. I must actually wear like maybe I can get my brother to appear in like different places and be like Shaggy seen a sparring boy. People think it's like Shaggy the singer, but I know for local news anyway. So what's
Well,
our
yeah,
next section?
we're going to our global news. This is the news from around the world that's been happening. Now, again, last week it came out with a very hot topic, Mr. Donald Trump getting shot in the air. We're glad to see he's on the mend. We're glad to see that he's up and about and running around. But the hot topic this week, I think we'll have to talk about is the Euros final, England versus Spain. Did you watch it?
I did. I actually thought England were going to win it when I went 1-1. Um, it's more so it's the re, it's how much everybody. I found it a bit almost cringy at how much everybody didn't want England to win. I know it's a bit
That here,
controversial.
you actually took the words clean out of my mouth because at the start I was like, it's a wee bit of fun being like, I hope England get beat. Like when you're going that much against it and like you want to
Uh,
see someone else lose, it's not cool.
did you see Paddy the Body?
Oh, in the pub, yeah.
Yeah, like only he's a UFC fighter. Like you, like that's some random guy. So he gets fuck knocked in. Paddy the Body's like, I fight in the UFC. Like I know I can handle myself, but like that is, I don't know. Here, don't get me wrong. I think it would have been hard to like listen to the fans
Mhm.
if the but I think it's harder to listen to like 19 keep going on about 1966 because
Mm,
I think if they win it, it's almost like do you ever see like a dog chasing a car
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then it's like what would happen if the dog actually caught the car? I wouldn't know what to do. So I think to be in that state of a shock would be like England win Euros.
Yeah,
Another
that,
news,
yeah,
another news.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
A Limerick bus driver.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now the real news is on.
Yeah. So I definitely think it's more so like it's England like they just get to the final and lose
Yeah.
like
To be honest, it was kind of like it wasn't. I didn't think it was a great tournament, like the actual standard of football. I'm sort of like footballed out. Like me and you are both Arsenal fans, we'll follow that pretty closely for the year.
yeah
And when like
yeah.
you don't have an actual horse in the race, you're just kind of like, do I really want to watch fucking Hungary and Serbia here? Like,
And the only time you watch those games is when you're working.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
So,
I
like,
nearly got fired
2
from a
o'clock.
job for sitting watching too much football one time, but that's a different story for another time.
Do you remember Saudi Arabia beat Argentina in the last World the
Yes.
last World
Yeah.
Cup? So obviously I grew up in Saudi Arabia, so we have a wee bit of a affection for that part of the
Mhm.
world. And and whenever they went 2-1 up against Argentina, I was like in the office going, yeah, what the fuck is this guy doing? But so that's when you shouldn't watch. That's when you
Yeah.
shouldn't watch
On
it.
a serious note, that's when you shouldn't watch
the
it.
the hardest decision I've ever had to make is when Republic of Ireland. This is 2002. You probably don't remember the
No.
2002 World Cup. Republic of Ireland were in the same group as Saudi Arabia, and people were like, "Who are you supporting?" I'm like, we'll see what happens, you know. And next thing, sort of half open Saudi win, but just because I could wind everybody up, then Ireland
Mhm.
took the lead. And I was like, "Oh, fucking, I'm Irish as fuck, full
It,
Irish," you know what I mean? But
you're the only man in the world with that dilemma in that moment. You're like, who do you want to win? There's nobody else in that situation apart from you watching that game going, who do you want to win? You're like, I'm conflicted. I'm really
But it's
conflicted.
like, but it's just like it's no way like if you know somebody who's like half Italian, half Irish, like at
Mhm.
least at least Italy are like decent. Whereas like I
Yeah,
have two
true.
shit like, but like so I have two shit teams. It's
Yeah.
like bullshit. You know what I mean? But
Somebody asked me on a TikTok, they were like, because I put up a thing about Ireland, and he goes, would you support Northern Ireland if they were in it? And I was like, to be honest, mate, yeah, but like realistically, no.
it is one of those ones
It's
where
not a
like
situation you're ever going to have to experience, so it's fine.
exactly. So I would just say I answer what they think, what they want to hear. Like yeah,
Yeah,
of course I would.
yeah.
But deep
Uh,
down, no.
I think we're closing up the show here. So have you anything coming up this week?
No.
No, me neither. And that's the end of that section. Anyway, if you enjoyed the podcast, we'll see you next week. This has been Tell You What Podcast. I've been Sean Aleavey. That's my wonderful co-host, Talal Jomar. See you next time.
Yes. See us all next week. Bye bye.
Oh, just let me, oh. That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me.